Alright, what's up, guys? So, Rebound uploaded a video titled Most Expensive Shoes Worn in an NBA Game. Steph Curry, of course, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Steph Curry, I'm trying to think, what shoes has he worn that was, I don't know, let's overall see, but yeah, LeBron, I know he's worn some crazy shoes in games, and Kobe, of course, but I think any shoes that Kobe has worn, it's obviously gonna be worth some. Didn't they just say there's I guess Jordan had gave Kobe some shoes and they sold for like a crap ton of money. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out this video, guys. Make sure you go subscribe to Rebound. Let's get them to 1 million subscribers. So if you haven't already, go subscribe to them. But then that being said, let's get into this
So with
video.
plenty of players around the NBA signing multi-million-dollar deals and getting their own signature shoes,
I still have to buy a pair of Steph Curry shoes because I'm like, I don't know, I never see them in stores, and so I'm like, one of these days.
some have accomplished while wearing those easily went completely under your radar. With the shoe market becoming more and more valuable throughout the years, people are willing to pay tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars for a single pair. But it's not just the sneakerheads that are willing to pay six figures for a pair of shoes, with one NBA player having a custom-made pair with crocodile skin dipped in 24 karat gold and diamonds. But that's not even the craziest thing on this list, so let's just get right into it. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's career is one of the most iconic and legendary we've seen up to this point. Being drafted originally to the Charlotte Hornets, but immediately being traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, he stayed loyal to the organization throughout his playing days career, and even after his legendary...
Honestly, I did not know that. That's my first time ever hearing about that, so... Wow, that's crazy.
60-point final game and retirement.
I bet they regret that because I'm like, man, that's crazy.
This also gave advice and mentorship to the newly acquired talent of the Lakers today. But at no point during him winning 5 championships or scoring his 25 points per game average throughout his entire career did he wear his most valuable shoes ever on the court, though. It was actually during the 2008 Beijing Olympics where Kobe did so. But to really take in consideration the significance of these shoes, you really have to take a step back 4 months before the Olympics. At this time, the players around the league began to push for lighter inspired shoes, and these Kobe Hyperdunks symbolized what was quoted as Nike's commitment to producing gear that was engineered to the exact specifications of championship athletes. These shoes happen to be equipped with recently developed flywire cushioning technology that reduced the bulkiness of shoes and has heavily influenced the newer generation of Nike basketball shoes since, according to Soul Collector. Other than the advanced technology, Nike commissioned Kobe Bryant to create a commercial that showcased just how light these shoes in fact were. Kobe ended up doing so by leaping over an Aston Martin on video, full speed coming at him. But with such a classic advertisement, a vintage Kobe Bryant performance in the gold medal game that summer while rocking these Hyperdunks specifically is what made these game-worn editions worth over $37,000. Stephen Curry. Ever since the name Stephen Curry became relevant in his college days at Davidson, he's pretty much been a trending topic each year ever since. Being drafted to the NBA with the 7th pick of the 2009 NBA draft, he stayed loyal to the Golden State Warriors ever since and has even signed a recent $201 million deal for 5 years while still being paid $4 million annually just from his shoe deal at Under Armour. Now, despite being argued as the greatest three-point shooter the NBA has ever seen, his shoe line has often been ridiculed amongst his fans. But with that being said, that hasn't
hey man, man's making his money, so I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what brand he's because there's brands I haven't even heard of and players get signed to them brands. So my thing is like, look, it could be Nike, it could be Jordan, it could be Adidas, freaking Under Armour. The fact that I was signed and now I got me a signature shoe out and it's gonna be coming out yearly, bro. That's to me, I'm like, look, my all-time dream is to get signed with Nike and to release a signature shoe with Nike. But if there's like any brand out there that takes me in and I get to release a signature shoe, bro, I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm gonna legit cry.
Stopped him from embracing being the face of this Under Armour brand, as he even extended his partnership with them through 2024, and has even worn some of the most valuable shoes ever worn in an NBA game that we'll get into later in the video. Stephen Curry's accomplishments have been significantly underrated to say the least. First ever unanimous MVP in the league's history while going back-to-back, winning MVP in consecutive years, and a 3-time NBA champion, all while defeating arguably the greatest individual player of all time in LeBron. Many see the Golden State Warriors as a super team in this era of the NBA, but either way you look at it, they aren't necessarily cheating. They still put in the work each and every single day, and continue to dominate some of the best players and teams in the entire world. One thing that is in fact scary about Stephen Curry's game, however, is that he arguably continues to get get better each and every single year despite this constant criticism. Once again this season he's averaging 30 points per game while making nearly the most threes per game in his career, while once again being among the top of the Western Conference with the Warriors. With rumors of Kevin Durant's departure from Golden State in the upcoming summer during free agency, the Warriors would still be in fact a championship contender with Steph back as the franchise centerpiece. You could argue that Kevin Durant became the main option every single night upon his arrival to the Warriors a few summers ago, but Steph has still consistently put up ridiculous numbers while being a second option, and this year is even putting up similar numbers to KD. This year, Steph is putting up 30 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, while Durant is putting up 30 points, 6 assists, and 7 rebounds per game.
Days.
So with 2 MVP candidates in the same lineup, it's scary to imagine their filled roster with DeMarcus Cousins coming back soon. But with Steph being a part of the elite class in the NBA, why wouldn't a player of his caliber be signed to the most universally known shoe brand, Nike? Well, there's actually a ridiculous story about how Steph wanted no part in a partnership with them, which is why he went with Under Armour and became a face of the brand itself. In short, it was reported that Nike was apparently lazy in their dealings with Stephen Curry. During the Nike pitch meeting, Steph's father Dell, who was present during all of this, reported that the meeting started with a Nike official accidentally greeting Stephen as Stefan. Dell couldn't believe it. He said, "I heard some people pronounce his name wrong before. I wasn't surprised. I was surprised that it didn't get a correction." That's just the beginning. And apparently
that's why I say Steph Curry, because I hear everybody else say Steph Curry. But I was like, there's been times I think when I very first started hearing about him, I was saying like Stephen Curry or something, because that's how I see it. But it's like Stephen Curry. I'm like, bro, but it ain't even like the name. Like his name is like Wardell, and I'm like, bro, what? I'm like, you got my mind made up that your name. I'm thinking his name is like Stephen Jackson Curry or something. No, his middle name is Stephen. I'm like, bro, look, there's just too many names going on. Can I just call you Mr. Curry, sir? Please, thank you. Like that's it. That's all I asked for in life. But
the situation got even worse. During the overall presentation of Steph, a PowerPoint slide said Kevin Durant's name where it should have said his. They literally couldn't believe it. It was assumed that this was left on accident just because of them presenting and negotiating with KD before this, and it was just re-scrapped for Steph coming in. His father Dell said, "I stopped paying attention after that," and they already knew the decision to part ways with Nike for another brand at that point in time. Nike also didn't give Steph his own summer basketball camp like it had done previously for Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. This meant a lot to him as he had memories of attending other superstars' camps while he was young, including Chris Paul. But from this point on, Steph spent weeks weighing the decision out, and his teammate at the time, Kent Bazemore, signed his own deal with Under Armour and was immediately showered with products while barely even playing in the NBA. In the end, it came down to this. Steph and his family gathered at his agent's house in Southern California to figure out the final decision. At this point in time, Steph's daughter, Riley, was just 1 year old, and they tested things out by presenting her with the shoes from each brand involved. Steph went on to say she picks up shoe 1, which was a Nike, and threw it over her shoulder. She picked up shoe 2, threw it over her shoulder again. Then she picked up the third shoe, walked over, and handed it to me, so I knew right then, which of course happened to be the Under Armour variant. It was definitely the right business decision as well, seeing as his deal with Under Armour was around $4 million per year, while Nike's was $2.5 million. And when they had the option to match, they declined. Steph has shown many different versions of his many signature shoes over the years throughout his on-court play, despite them being ridiculed constantly, but has still worn rare versions, including a unique gold version of it a few years back. The version of the shoe stood out completely and was arguably the best version of a signature shoe of Stephen Curry that he'd ever displayed, and he did this throughout a ridiculous performance of 38 points, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds that game, while the highlights of the shoe game racked up millions of views. But despite all of that, many people feel that because of his choice in brand though, the shoes aren't what they're supposed to be from someone who's a face of the league, but he's still worn some of the most valuable ones yet. At one point a few years back, Stephen Curry was actually wearing a unique version of his Under Armour Curry 3s called the Oakland Strong, and these customized versions of the shoe paid tribute to the victims of the Ghost Ship warehouse fire that even claimed lives of 36 people.
Dang.
This shoe includes Oakland and Strong graffiti-style writing on the left and right shoe, and even respectively as each affected person's initials on the heel and midsole of it. These shoes ran up a price of $30,000 for the Oakland Fire Relief Fund, and surprisingly, Steph holds the record for a highest price of sneaker worn in a game by a current NBA player, but this is just the beginning. Before we get into some of the most ridiculous shoes ever worn in an NBA game, I real quick wanted to let each and every single one of you guys know we're getting so close to 500,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing?
This an old video. This like, cause it's like Sports Hub. They're not even going by that name. So it's Hey,
we're bringing the best NBA content on YouTube daily. You don't want to miss out on future videos, so subscribe right now. Don't wait till your friends tell you all about us. Let's just get right back into it though. Michael Jordan.
Of course, he's gonna.
Now,
be
it's
in
definitely
here.
no argument that Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes ever, and he's even worn some of the highest priced shoes ever in NBA history, one at nearly $200,000. This was even prior to his professional career even beginning, immediately after his legendary college days at North Carolina. Before being drafted to the NBA during that summer of 1984, apparently Michael Jordan preferred both Adidas and Converse over Nike. Nike wasn't his first choice.
It's crazy how it was like, well, I know he said like, I don't know if he said like if Converse wasn't an option because he was like, everybody is with Converse. And so I think he's just overall wanted to just, venture out and do something else. He might have been one to go with Converse. I need to watch that Last Dance documentary again. But anyways, then yeah, it tripped me out like hearing that he wanted to be with Adidas. And then, seeing how much of a name he made for himself with Nike, I was like, that's crazy, man. But it was pretty much like the situation with Steph Curry and things. It's Stephen Curry. But yeah, he, wanted to be with Adidas. Adidas was like, nah, we ain't taking you. And then he went to Nike, and Nike just showed him nothing but love. So
throughout his college basketball days, Jordan was
with Curry?
specifically spotted wearing Converse the majority of the time. But that summer prior to his heavily anticipated rookie season in the NBA, he was actually a member of Team USA's Olympic basketball team. And in that gold medal game against Spain, Jordan ended up scoring 20 points and easily defeated the country 96-65 to secure gold. And in that game, Jordan was spotted wearing Converse fast breaks. Nearly 30 years later, those specific game-worn shoes sold for over $190,000, making them the highest paid shoes from an NBA player ever. So since prior to even being drafted with the third pick of the 1984 NBA draft to the Chicago Bulls themselves, it goes without saying that Michael Jordan became an icon from that point forward. Moving on to the NBA, MJ had some of the most ridiculous performances in the history of the league, and constantly put the team on his back at all times. Throughout his legendary career, he easily won 5 MVP awards, while it was argued he deserved more. Dominated many All-Star games, winning 3 MVPs during those, and of course his unbelievable 6 appearances in the NBA Finals, where he won a championship and Finals MVP in every single one as well. He's also the leading scorer per game in NBA history, averaging over 30 points per game throughout his entire career. It's definitely no surprise that despite MJ's retirement and obviously being inducted into the Hall of Fame, it hasn't slowed down his brand whatsoever. It's been estimated that he continues to make over $100 million per year off his Nike deal alone, and is worth over $1 billion at this
man releases it like, okay, so he'll release like a new colorway, sells out, releases an old colorway, sells out. And he does that like all throughout the year. So it's like, of course, this man, then it's like you got like all these other things like the side shoes that's not really doing so hot, but them shoes is going to be getting sold to different places. Yeah, bro, it's like he's set
point in time. A subsidiary of the Nike brand became what the Jordan brand is today. Back in 1984, when he debuted himself in the NBA, Jordan came into the league as one of the most dominant players ever immediately, and Nike knew his worth. In his rookie year, Jordan already averaged 28 points per game and even led the Chicago Bulls to the playoffs, earning first of what went on to be 14 All-Star selections, and obviously no question won Rookie of the Year that season as well. In his first year though, he debuted his Air Jordan 1s, which are still popular today. A game-worn pair from Jordan himself that year actually sold for over $39,000 back in October of 2016. What's unbelievable about these shoes though, is that they changed the game, literally. Jordan actually wore these shoes in his first ever NBA game, and apparently at the time it actually broke the rules each time he put them on after that. The NBA guidelines stated a uniform policy that prohibited players from wearing shoes that weren't white. The Air Jordan 1s he continued to wear clearly violated this regulation, and he was actually fined $5,000 each game he wore these. Nike and Jordan even filmed a commercial because of this, and still put the product up for sale regardless of the situation, and it became one of the most popular Jordan shoes ever. But also in MJ's,
like they have already made like a crap ton of these shoes, and it's like, okay, well, we're not gonna burn all these shoes or get rid of them all because like, oh, they don't meet the NBA standard. No, we're gonna make some money off of these shoes. And that's why for the longest, well, I know that they were those other Nike shoes like the Nike Airships or something like that. And those were the ones that got banned. But it's like, yeah, bro, it's like they that's what they should do. They should bring them shoes back into production. Like just bring them, but don't have it where it's like you guys only sell like 1,000 pairs and then everybody got rushed. No, I'm saying like these are just the shoes that just sold all year long. So just come out with a store, just have it where it's just a bunch of just of the shoes and stuff. I'm telling you, that stuff would sell, but Anyways,
his rookie season in a game against the Lakers, while waiting for his first ever signature shoes to be completed, Jordan ended up rocking a pair of Nikes that somewhat resembled the famous Air Jordan 1s, but were called the Nike Airships. Now, a common mistake surrounding the Jordan brand in the sneaker world believes that the Air Jordan 1 shoes were straight up banned by the NBA. However, it ended up being the Airships that weren't allowed. Jordan wrote a letter stating that his black and red shoes violated the uniform code, but the letter is apparently dated October 18th, which was months before Jordan actually wore his ones in an actual game, and they'd only made a commercial for them up to that point. But regardless, the Nike Airships that Jordan wore during that game sold for nearly $72,000 back in April of 2015.
Wild.
Moving on a couple of years as Jordan progressively got better with experience, stepping his scoring up to an even more ridiculous level, even averaging career highs of 37 points and 35 points per game in back-to-back years of 1986 through 1988. But during this stage up until 1992 was the prime of Michael Jordan's career. He even began his first ever three-peat from 1991 to 1993, winning all 3 championships in there. But during the 1992 summer was something special. Jordan was a part of what was called the greatest team we've ever seen in the history of basketball. They were nicknamed the Dream Team during that 1992 Olympics. That team included many legends we still know today. The team consisted of many stars including Jordan himself, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Scottie Pippen, and even more. During that 1992 Barcelona Olympics, that team included 11 Hall of Famers that won games by an average of 44 points, and for once, Jordan didn't even need to lead a team in scoring to be successful. But during this legendary pursuit of a gold medal, even though Jordan didn't even average anywhere near as many points per game as his NBA career, with it being nearly 15 a game in there, he still showcased one of the most popular Jordan shoes of his brand, the Olympic. Now, we aren't finished with Jordan just yet, as he's had some of the most expensive shoes we've ever seen. It takes a special kind of talent to go on a three-peat, winning multiple NBA championships, retire from the league, sign a contract to go play baseball at the Chicago White Sox, then unretire a year later just to come back and go on another three-peat, winning 3 more rings. But that's just a legendary part of the Michael Jordan story, so no one else can be like Mike literally. But during that 1995 to 1996 season, Jordan debuted his most popular shoe to date, his Bryant 11s. In Michael Jordan's first full season back from his official retirement, Jordan led the Bulls to what was a league best 72-10 record during the regular season, prior to leading this team to help capture his 4th ring. Rocking what was called one of the best looking basketball shoes ever made, the Bryant 11s, Jordan scored 36 in a game against Seattle that gave the Bulls an easy 3-0 lead in the series. During that 1996 NBA...
It might be against Seattle, but I'm like, hey bro, I got my Bryant 11s chilling up there. I'm like, them shoes, I love my Bryant 11s. They're my all-time favorite shoes. Out of all the shoes, it's the infrared 6s. They would be my second, but Bryant 11s, hands
Finals,
down.
The Bulls easily dominated the Sonics, and Michael Jordan was easily the main reason. His Game 3 worn shoes of those Bryant 11s sold for over $34,000 back in 2015. Now, the last of the MJ shoes on this list comes from the following year in 1997, where it was the second of 3 championships won in a row by Jordan and the Bulls. Now, one of the most legendary performances of Jordan's career actually took place during this year's 1997 NBA Finals, called the flu game. But what's been explained as contrary to popular belief, Jordan apparently didn't actually have the flu during this game in which he played against the Utah Jazz. According to Jordan's trainer, Tim Grover, Jordan was actually suffering from food poisoning, and he was just very fatigued and could barely even be able to support himself up. But Jordan still somehow managed to score 38 points on the way to securing a 3-2 series lead in the finals. This was easily a direct representation of Jordan's career, as he never gave up. No matter the circumstance, he never made excuses and executed what was necessary when he was out there in any way he could till he possibly couldn't anymore. But during that legendary Game 5 of the series, Jordan actually wore his Air Jordan 12s, which also became one of the most popular Jordan shoes ever and are still heavily supported.
Those are like one of the shoes that's on my list. Like, I got to get me a pair of the Flu Game 12s. Like, out of all the Jordans, there's those yellow and black ones where I do like those ones, and them could be like, my alternative route to some 12s. But I'm like, bruh, if I ever get me, so I'm saying, guys, support the channel so y'all can support my sneaker addiction, because I gotta get those shoes, man, one day. I have to.
LeBron James. Now, you can't even begin to explain the significance of LeBron James' career since high school, as he's accomplished an endless list of things over the last 20 years, both on and off the court. Winning 4 MVP awards, 3 NBA championships, including ending Cleveland's championship drought back in 2016. Since LeBron was drafted #1 pick of the 2003 NBA draft by the Cavaliers, he hasn't looked back. It's argued that nobody in the league is on LeBron's level, even right now in his 16th season. And he shows no signs of slowing down, no matter what, even being a part of the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, despite recently inking a $154 million deal with LA, it's even recently been confirmed by a business partner that LeBron has a lifetime deal with Nike that's valued over $1 billion. LeBron has shown many variations of his signature shoes over the years in many ways, and comes out with multiple different types of shoes every single year.
I have the 14s and the 17s. I want to get the 18s too, but yeah, them shoes, the 17s, really comfortable. The 14s, I don't know. I like them, but they just, the 17s is just a little bit more comfortable. But anyways,
the most valuable shoes of them all just so happens to be one that he wore with the team that drafted him, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and rightfully so. Last season in LeBron's record-breaking year, he was showcasing his LeBron 15th shoe throughout. Now, Dominic Chambrone, aka the shoe surgeon, actually linked with Nike to commemorate LeBron passing the 30,000 point milestone of his career. Chambrone himself designed a one-of-one edition shoe, a gift for King James, using some of the most luxurious materials ever used or seen on any shoe ever. The upper part of it is constructed of crocodile skin dipped in 24 karat gold. Golden zippers have been added to a side of each shoe as well, complete with custom zipper pulls. Each zipper pull is 18 karat gold. The heel clips are gold plated and the lace loops are also solid gold. What tops off this masterpiece is the egglets that feature 2.3 carats of diamonds and are set with the words World and Champions. The shoe itself is racked up to worth over $100,000 and was one of the most expensive shoes ever made to date. LeBron was also gifted a matching pennant to go along with it, featuring his signature lion head logo, made out of 27 grams of 18 karat solid gold and 238 diamonds on a 30-inch 18 karat solid gold Franco chain cut with 10 carats of genuine diamonds. LeBron always showcased him living luxurious, but these shoes right here are easily a one-of-a-kind and definitely deserving to such a significant milestone that he surpassed that year as he continues to get even better as we progress in his career. But with all that being said, which of these shoes would you spend the money on? Let me know in the comment section down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.
Probably if I didn't have the Bread 11s, I definitely would want to get. I probably would get, now then thinking about it, I probably would get like the championship like Bread 11s and things. Those would be the shoes I think I would spend like thousands of dollars on, because the 12s, I mean, I don't really I would like the 12s and stuff, but I think I would I'm more glued to the Bread 11s. Those are my babies. I'm like, hold on, let me just grab them real quick. Like these are my babies. There's like some like paper at the bottom because I got these at a reselling store, but yeah, bro, I freaking love these shoes, man. I don't care what anybody says. I will spend thousands of dollars. If I had thousands of dollars, I would. But since I only have dollars, I only have dollars. So I'm like, I can't be spending thousands of dollars on shoes like that. But anyways, no, this was a pretty good video. I did enjoy it. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the Rebound channel. They are at 915,000 subscribers, so go subscribe to them. Let's get them to 1 million. Like, subscribe to me also. I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.